What if I told you that most losing traders don't fail because they lack a strategy? They fail because their own mind quietly sabotages every decision they make. That's the part almost nobody talks about. Every day, thousands of people search for the perfect indicator, the perfect setup, or the perfect market, never realizing that the real battle begins long before they ever click the buy or sell button. Imagine working harder than ever, studying charts for hours, following experts, and still watching your account slowly disappear. Frustrating, isn't it? But what if those losses weren't caused by the market at all? What if they were the result of invisible mental patterns that have been controlling your decisions without you even noticing? In the next few minutes, you're going to discover why intelligent people repeatedly make the same costly trading mistakes, why emotions often overpower logic at the exact worst moment, and how a simple shift in the way you think can completely change the way you trade. The surprising part is that these lessons don't just apply to trading. They reveal how fear, confidence, patience, and discipline shape every important decision in life. As we move through each chapter, you'll begin to recognize behaviors that may have been holding you back for years, and by the end, you'll see the market and yourself from an entirely different perspective. But don't make the mistake of leaving early, because the final chapter contains the most powerful lesson of all, the one that quietly connects everything you've learned and has the potential to change not only your trading results, but the way you approach risk, uncertainty, and success forever. And if at any point something challenges the way you've been thinking, take a second to like this video, share your biggest insight in the comments, and subscribe, because sometimes one conversation can completely change the direction of someone's journey, including your own. Now, let's uncover the hidden psychological patterns that separate those who stay trapped in endless losses from those who finally break free. Chapter 1. The hidden mental mistakes that keep you losing. Think about the last trade you regretted. Not because the market moved against you, but because deep down, you already knew you were making the wrong decision. Maybe you entered too early because you were afraid of missing out. Maybe you held on to a losing position because you couldn't accept being wrong. Or maybe you closed a winning trade far too soon, only to watch it continue exactly where you thought it would. At first, these moments seem unrelated. They feel like bad luck, bad timing, or a difficult market. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Most losing trades are decided before the order is ever placed. The market doesn't create your habits, it exposes them. Every chart becomes a mirror, reflecting your patience, your fears, your confidence, and your ability to stay disciplined under uncertainty. This is why two traders can look at the exact same setup, enter at nearly the same price, and walk away with completely different results. The difference isn't the chart, it's the mind interpreting the chart. Your brain is constantly searching for certainty, even in an environment where certainty doesn't exist. It wants reassurance, it wants control, it wants every trade to prove that you're right. But trading doesn't reward the need to be right, it rewards the ability to make good decisions even when the outcome is uncertain. That single shift changes everything. Imagine standing at the edge of a forest on a foggy morning. You can't see the entire path ahead. You only see the next few steps. Most people refuse to move until the fog disappears. Successful traders understand something different. The fog never disappears. You simply learn to walk through it with confidence. The greatest mental mistake isn't fear itself. It's believing that fear should disappear before you act. Fear is natural. The real question is whether fear makes your decisions for you. Every impulsive entry, every revenge trade, every oversized position, every emotional exit. They all begin with a single invisible thought that goes unquestioned, and the longer those thoughts remain unnoticed, the more expensive they become. The market has no memory. It doesn't know your last loss. It doesn't care about your last win. But your mind remembers everything. It carries emotional baggage from one trade into the next, quietly influencing decisions that should be completely independent. This is where consistency begins to disappear. Not because the strategy stopped working, but because the trader stopped following it. And here's something even more surprising. Most people spend years trying to improve their charts before they ever learn to improve the person reading those charts. That is why real transformation never starts with a new indicator. It starts with a new level of self-awareness. Because once you can recognize the hidden mental mistakes behind every decision, you begin to take back control. And that's when the game truly changes. But recognizing these mistakes is only the beginning. The next challenge is understanding why your emotions become so powerful at the exact moments when clear thinking matters most. Chapter 2. Why fear and hope control more trades than strategy. Imagine standing in front of two doors. Behind one is a small loss that you can accept today. Behind the other is the possibility of an even bigger loss tomorrow, but also the hope that everything might suddenly turn around. Most people don't choose the second door because it's logical. They choose it because hope feels more comfortable than acceptance. That single decision explains countless losing trades. Fear and hope are two of the strongest emotions in the human mind, and the market knows exactly how to bring them to the surface. One moment you're confident because your trade is moving in your favor. The next, a small pullback makes you question everything. Nothing has changed about your original plan, yet your emotions convince you that everything has changed. This is where discipline quietly disappears. Fear doesn't always look dramatic. Sometimes it looks responsible. You tell yourself you're protecting profits, so you exit too early. You convince yourself that taking something is better than risking nothing. It feels smart in the moment, but over time, those small emotional decisions slowly destroy the mathematical edge your strategy was designed to produce. Then hope takes over. A losing position starts moving against you. Instead of accepting the loss you planned for, you begin creating stories. It will come back. It's only temporary. I'll wait just a little longer. Without realizing it, you're no longer following a trading plan. You're negotiating with reality. The market doesn't respond to optimism. It doesn't reward confidence alone. It simply moves according to supply and demand, completely indifferent to what you want to happen. Here's something interesting. Most people think emotions are the enemy. They're not. Emotions are information. They reveal where your mind is attached. Fear reveals what you're trying to protect. Hope reveals what you're unwilling to let go of. The problem begins when emotions stop being signals and start becoming instructions. Imagine driving through heavy rain. The windshield tells you the weather has changed. It doesn't tell you to abandon the car. In the same way, emotions tell you something is happening inside your mind. They should never be allowed to take control of the steering wheel. Professional decision-makers understand this principle in every high-pressure environment. They don't wait to feel fearless. They build habits that keep them consistent even when emotions are loud. That's because habits are stronger than temporary feelings. When your process is clear, your emotions become background noise instead of your primary guide. This is why preparation matters more than prediction. Before entering a trade, you should already know where you'll exit if you're wrong. You should already know where you'll take profits if you're right. Those decisions belong to your calm mind, not to the emotional version of yourself that appears after money is on the line. The moment you begin changing your plan in the middle of a trade, ask yourself one simple question. Am I responding to new information, or am I reacting to my emotions? That single question can save you from countless unnecessary losses. Over time, you'll notice something remarkable. The market itself becomes less stressful, not because it has become easier, but because you've stopped fighting every movement. You've accepted that uncertainty is part of the game, not a problem to eliminate. And once that acceptance takes root, a deeper transformation begins. Because controlling fear and hope is only half the journey. Chapter 3. The mindset shift that changes every trading decision. There comes a moment in every trader's journey when they realize something unexpected. The market was never the hardest opponent. Their own thinking was. At first, this realization is uncomfortable. We naturally want to believe that better results come from finding a better strategy, a better indicator, or a better entry. It feels easier to change the tools than to change ourselves. But the longer you trade, the more obvious one truth becomes. The strategy matters. The mindset decides whether you'll actually follow it. Think about a pilot preparing for takeoff. Before the engines start, Every critical decision has already been made. There is a checklist, a routine, a process that gets followed every single time, regardless of confidence or emotion. Why? Because consistency creates safety. Trading works the same way. The moment you rely on how you feel instead of what your plan says, you've handed control over to emotions that change from one minute to the next. A strong mindset doesn't eliminate uncertainty. It learns to function inside it. That's the shift most people never make. They expect confidence to come before action. In reality, confidence usually comes after repeated disciplined action. Every time you respect your trading plan, even after a loss, you're teaching your brain something powerful. You're proving that your identity isn't tied to a single outcome. One trade doesn't define you. One winning streak doesn't make you invincible. One losing streak doesn't make you a failure. They're simply moments in a much longer journey. Imagine a professional athlete. They don't judge their entire career based on one game. They review it. They learn from it. Then they prepare for the next one. Successful traders think the same way. Instead of asking, "Did I make money today?" they ask a better question. "Did I make a quality decision?" That question changes everything, because quality decisions can still produce losing trades, and poor decisions can sometimes produce winning ones. If you reward yourself only when you make money, your brain begins chasing outcomes instead of improving decisions. Eventually, that habit becomes dangerous. The market has a way of rewarding bad behavior just often enough to make it feel correct. That's why discipline must become stronger than short-term results. Results are temporary, habits are permanent, and habits quietly shape your future long before profits ever appear. The traders who grow consistently aren't obsessed with predicting every move. They're obsessed with becoming the kind of person who can stay calm, follow a process, and make the next decision with a clear mind. That identity becomes their greatest advantage, because when your focus shifts from proving yourself to improving yourself, pressure begins to disappear. You stop chasing perfection. You start building consistency. And consistency has a remarkable effect. It creates trust. Not trust in the market, trust in yourself. That kind of confidence can't be bought, copied, or borrowed. It has to be earned, one disciplined decision at a time. But there's one final piece that brings everything together. It's the lesson that separates temporary improvement from lasting transformation. And once you understand it, you'll never look at winning, losing, or success the same way again. Chapter 4. How consistency turns random results into lasting profits. Imagine looking back at your trading journey 1 year from today, not remembering the biggest win, not replaying the worst loss, but realizing that the person making decisions has completely changed. That is the transformation that truly matters. Most people believe successful traders wake up feeling more confident, more fearless, or somehow more gifted than everyone else. They don't. The difference is much quieter. They've stopped searching for certainty and started trusting their process. That's what consistency really is. It's not winning every trade. It's showing up every day with the discipline to make the next decision the right way, regardless of what happened yesterday. The market will always surprise you. Some trades will work perfectly. Others will fail for reasons you'll never fully understand. Trying to control every outcome is exhausting. Trying to control your behavior is empowering. And that's where lasting progress begins. Think of a lighthouse standing on a rocky coastline. Storms come and go. Massive waves crash against the shore. The weather changes constantly. Yet the lighthouse doesn't chase the waves. It doesn't panic when the storm arrives. It simply continues doing what it was built to do. Your trading mindset should work the same way. Markets will always be uncertain. Your process shouldn't be. There will always be another opportunity, another chart, another setup. But you'll only recognize those opportunities if your mind isn't trapped by the last trade. That's why every trade deserves a fresh perspective. Carry forward your lessons. Never carry forward your emotions. This is where many traders quietly transform. They stop measuring success by daily profits. Instead, they measure it by the quality of their execution. Did they follow their plan? Did they respect their risk? Did they remain patient when nothing met their standards? Those answers matter far more than whether the market rewarded them today. Because over time, The market has a remarkable way of rewarding people who consistently make good decisions. Not immediately, not dramatically, but steadily. And steady progress is what creates lasting success. Remember this. A single winning trade can make you feel successful. Only consistent discipline can make you successful. Results come and go. Discipline stays. Confidence rises and falls. Character remains. The market will test your patience. It will challenge your emotions. It will expose every weakness you try to hide. But it will also reward every habit you choose to strengthen. The greatest edge you'll ever develop isn't found on a chart. It isn't hidden inside a secret indicator. And it certainly isn't waiting in someone else's strategy. Your greatest edge is becoming the kind of person who can think clearly when others panic, remain patient when others rush, and stay disciplined when emotions demand the opposite. Because in the end, profitable trading isn't about predicting the future. It's about mastering yourself. And once you do that, you'll realize something that changes everything. The market was never your biggest challenge. It was your greatest teacher.